tax file sign. Roy or Lorenzo, just because I see you on my dashboard, could one of you give me a thumbs up if you could see the welcome to tax file? Awesome. Thank you, Roy. Yeah, welcome to TaxFile. I kind of introduced myself briefly, but I'll do it again in the context of this presentation. So what is TaxFile? Basically, we're a peer-to-pro work routing service where our consumer base, tax professionals and CPA firms alike, route work through our platform directly to you, a qualified tax pro who's able to handle the deliverables for any given engagement. We provide a fully encrypted chat service, document sharing center. We're quickly incorporating video chat, and we handle billing, all that fun stuff. Basically think of us as a marketing tool for you all to build your book of business, and we just appropriately route the work to you based on your availability and your willingness to take on each engagement. You'll get to get your hands on the platform more come tax season. So I do want to get you all excited for that. But our main bread and butter is work routing. That's where the value is in our software. And, and we couldn't do it all without the expertise of you all. So, yeah. Now, I'm part of a larger team called the Customer Success Team. Right now, we're a group of 11 individuals, quickly growing. We're going to hire 5 new people within the next month. So within this next month, we're hiring 5 new people, but the people we have on staff now are very friendly, workable, and easy to get along with. So if you have any inquiries or questions, you could always reach out to us in the little text box on the bottom right-hand corner of your portal. It's the little blue box that looks like a little chat button, like around this part of your portal. You'll find that working with us is easy. So the rest of this presentation is basically going to go over things that have you, the tax pro, and us, the success team, living in harmony and set expectations right, because we do, as much as we like to service our pros, we also have clients to consider. This is just kind of like the common areas where escalations happen, and it's really not all too difficult. So expectations, so long as you follow these overall expectations and the rules that are to follow, you won't really be hearing negatively from us at all. We're a pretty easygoing group, and we just want to make sure that you all have the right mindset coming into this platform so that our clients have the best experience. Because what we all want is our clients to have the best experience and keep on coming back year after year and requesting you to be the one to prepare their return year after year, which is the case for our tax pros that signed up year 1, year 2. We're currently entering year 5. But we find that our tax pros that have the best service have a returning book of clients every single year. So this presentation is kind of to get you to that point where the clients that you do pick up year 1 come back to you year 2, year 3, year 4, and etc. So these expectations and the following rules and guidelines are big parts of that. So first expectation is don't pick up jobs if you can't meet the given deadlines. So every time a job is put onto our platform, not right now, obviously, because right now it's the middle of dead season and you're probably not able to pick up any jobs because they're picked up instantaneously. But come tax season, you'll get to see job specs such as deliverables, required payout, and expected deadline. We're introducing expedited deadlines this year for higher fees. But this first expectation is just to say, don't pick up a job if you can't meet the given deadline. So if you can't meet the given deadline, you're at capacity, just forego the job, please. We kind of do it on an honor system, because what we really don't want to do is have a disgruntled client say, oh, I needed this deadline tomorrow, and the pro didn't meet it. That leads to a bad reputation score on our platform and kind of shows that you'd be unreliable for future work being routed to you. So please keep that in mind. And then also the second expectation, this kind of goes without saying, but just as how you would treat your normal clients outside of TaxFile, we expect prompt and professional communication. So as soon as you pick up a job, a client is expecting an on-demand tax experience. So when you do pick up a job, please introduce yourself on the forefront, and then in that introduction, leave best times of availability to talk to your client. We understand that you are people, you're not robots, you have families, some of you pets, as I could hear a dog barking in the background. So we expect pros, and I'll touch on this later, to communicate to each client within 2 days of a client reaching out, if not sooner. But we do expect prompt and professional communication. So that was promptness. In terms of professional. Please try to keep communication on the platform with good grammar, punctuation. We're not expecting perfect Shakespearean English, but just try to keep all that in mind. If you're trying to write out the word you, spell it out YOU, not you, or me too, like METOO, not me number two. Just keep it professional, not text lingo. Which is hard to do sometimes because it is a text heavy platform. But please make sure that you're presenting yourself professionally. Also, here's a pro tip: if you're in a pinch and you need to communicate to a client but you're not at your desktop, please download the WorkLayer app. It's a great way to keep in communication with your client over the chat feature. So going over expectations, I don't think they were too crazy or anything. I'd like to go to the rules. These rules we adhere strictly to, and we just have to make sure that you're aware of them so that we don't have any complications down the road. So rule number one, which I believe is the most important, no solicitation / stealing of our clients. If additional services are needed, please let us know and we could talk about pricing with the client accordingly, or it could be the case that we discuss it with you and communicate to the client through you. But please let us know if additional forms are needed so that we could update given engagements and make sure that everything is right systematically, as it does mess with our reporting and revenue recognition. Also, in terms of solicitation, our clients are coming into our platform for a tax filing experience. We understand that many of you may be financial advisors or insurance brokers, but please do not solicit these services on our platform. This is a tax filing platform, not a life insurance selling platform. So on to rule number two, no false pretense. You are who you say you are. This is why we have such a strict onboarding process with photo ID, multiple forms of identification, EFIN, PTIN, CPA, EA license, additionally a background check. So we just have to make sure that every professional on our platform is the person they say they are, because we as a company understand that our clients are sharing sensitive information with us, such as social security information, income, what have you. So we do have to make sure that you are the person you say you are. That's not to say that you can't have someone on the platform helping you. You could definitely have someone who goes on and kind of chats with your clients on your behalf. But that said, each and every tax return that is filed on our platform has your signature on it, has your license on the line, and is serviced by you at the end of the day. This third rule, we've become a bit more lenient on, but it still stands for important reasons. We don't allow off-platform communication normally. This is because in the event of an escalation after a job is closed, let's say a client comes back and says, oh, I got an IRS notice, or, oh, I really hated my pro, they did a terrible job. We have the entire chat history, so we could be like, actually, you got an IRS notice because you submitted all your documents at like 2 minutes before midnight, and the pro can file on time. The pro's not responsible here. We just need a chat log and all that information on hand, just so that we make sure that in the event of an escalation, we could handle it appropriately. So if you were to correspond through email, we don't really have access to any of that, and we can't really be of service. So our customer service team is a huge value add to our clients and to you guys in the form of a mediator in the event of escalations. But we can't really mediate anything if all the communication is off platform. That's not to say, however, you can't accept a phone call from your client. We do understand that clients may have a difficult tax situation, or they just want to talk to the person preparing their tax return. That's completely understandable. But if that is the case, please schedule that phone call within the chat. And then after the phone call, just kind of provide a brief synopsis. Oh, hey, client, by the way, this is what we talked about on the phone, just writing it here just for the audit log. And then the client will usually respond, yeah, that sounds great. And that's basically it. So on to the next rule, we have no tolerance for the mishandling of client information. That's to say, at times you'll find this tax season. One second, I apologize. During this tax season, you'll have multiple clients, and this rule is just here to make sure that you double check each and every document you upload to each client before uploading it. It's happened about 4 times within this last year that a tax pro uploads the wrong client's tax return onto another client's engagement page, and that's a huge security breach. Because then the client reaches out to us, hey, I got this other person's tax return. Are you doing this to my tax return? In those cases, we're legally obligated to inform the party whose information was breached and suspend the account of the tax professional who made the breach. So if that's the case, we don't want it to come to that, obviously, but please double check each and every document that you upload to a client's page before you upload it. Additionally, if you do realize that you have uploaded a wrong document, you also have the ability to remove documents that you've uploaded. So please make sure that even after you upload a document, just double check and make sure it's for the right engagement. And then this last rule, this one kind of goes without saying, but if you have multiple engagements and you're not being responsive to your clients, you're not being responsive to us, people are reaching out that they can't get a hold of you, we do reserve the right to transfer all of your engagements and remove you from the platform immediately. So please don't remain idle on the platform. It's important that people are reliable on this platform, and that that we can reach out to you and we'll get a response. Same thing for the client. So on to that. Here's some best practices. Now, this is really the meat and bones of this presentation that could not guarantee you, but help assure you the best chance of retaining your clients year after year. I kind of came up with this list after interviewing some of our top performing pros in terms of earnings and reputation, because they're able to get higher earnings on our platform, because as the years go on, it's a compounding rate of how many jobs they accept with us, because their clients year over year keep on coming back to them automatically. So here are some of the tips and tricks that they gave me that I'm sharing with you all, so that you can get to that level of making upwards of $120,000 within a 4-month period. These are some of their tips and tricks. So on the onset, I kind of said this when I asked you to introduce yourself to a client. Set some best times to talk with your client, as it does set some accountability for them, and it sets reasonable expectations as to when they can reach out to you. We do have clients sometimes that reach out saying, oh, my pro hasn't reached out to me in 10 minutes. Like, what's wrong? I want to cancel the service. You have to let them know from the onset, oh, hi, this is my schedule. I'll get back to you like a few times a day, every day, or what have you. These are the best times to talk to me if you want some direct communication. And just kind of set that expectation, and it holds the client accountable to your schedule. And then also at the beginning of an engagement, also, side note, we find that the beginning of the engagement is the most telltale sign as how each engagement is going to go. So if you do these things correctly, it's way more likely that the client doesn't churn and just stays on. So at the beginning of the engagement, upload a brief checklist of documents that you would need to file their return. First thing you should ask for at the beginning of each engagement is a photo ID and the previous year's tax return. If you don't have the previous year's tax return easily available, look at the job specs. You understand that, oh, maybe this job, it needs a Schedule C, a Schedule D, and they're a W-2 employee. So you would have to ask for documents in the onset of a W-2, whatever earnings they did on their side hustle for their Schedule C, and if they received any dividends for their stock from their Schedule D, if you could get those earnings reports. Just make sure that you get all the documents you can at an early time, so that you don't have to go back and forth and have the client fetch everything at different times, because that does frustrate the client at times. And also, this next one, if the client needs an additional form, let's say per se, it's a 1040 with no Schedule C, but you find that the client does need a Schedule C, please let them know, oh, hey, by the way, I noticed that you have a sole proprietorship. I just wanted to let you know that you'll need an additional form. Your pricing is going to increase. I'm going to reach out to tax file success team so that they can reach out to you regarding pricing. That's all you have to do. Just let them know that an additional service needs to be rendered before coming to us, because what happens a lot of the time is that you reach out to us before letting the client know that they need an additional form, and then I come in, write an email, oh, hey, by the way, client, just letting you know you need an additional form. To them, I'm just somebody that they've never spoken to, that's emailing them, trying to upcharge them from our end. And oftentimes they're like, what is this bait and switch? I want to cancel. You stink. So we find it far more likely that the client accepts these changes when it's coming from the tax professional themselves, who's actively analyzing their tax situation and knows what needs to be done. So if you could just inform them of any incurring price changes beforehand, please do. And then this next one, this is kind of a very niche one, but if you have a few clients before 4/15 that they don't have all their documents in order and you can't really file their return, please do a courtesy extension for them if you can. It might not be the case that you have all the information available, but if you do, please file a courtesy extension. If that client does end up churning, we could always close the job out and pay you out for the extension you filed. Also, here's one, it's not really listed here, but I do want to make note that whenever you need to cancel a job, do not simply close out the job, because closing out a job initiates a charge on the client's account. If a job does need to be canceled, please reach out to us so we could handle that appropriately. And before you close out a job, please summarize next steps. Let them know that they could always reach out to you if necessary by reaching out to the help team and reopening the engagement. So the better your reputation score is, the more jobs you pick up on our retail space. You might be selected to be an outsourcing provider. So we do route work to tax professionals on both the retail side and a outsourcing enterprise type side. So that's to say we have outsourcing CPA firms who give us work that they don't have the capacity to do, and route it through our professional network. These engagements tend to be a little more involved. The clients tend to be more responsive, knowledgeable, since they are CPAs or tax preparers themselves 99% of the time. And these engagements tend to go very smoothly. So being added to these additional work pools is contingent on your reputation on the retail space and or selective skills that some clients may need. For example, we have one client right now that deals with a lot of Portuguese speaking clients. So we have our network of Portuguese speaking pros on that workspace. So it's important that that's why we ask for your resume, so we could assess your skill level, and we often send out surveys to assess if you have these particular skills, so that we could add you to these additional work pools. So if you do get a survey from us, please fill it out, because it could mean future opportunities for you. Also, additionally, some of these opportunities are contingent on tax software. So I know UltraTax is a very popular one. If it's not UltraTax, it's ProSystems or Access Tax. We do provide ProSystems and Access Tax to you all, but it could be the case that sometime we approach one of you and ask you to purchase UltraTax or get in a group order with other pros that do have UltraTax. we wouldn't do this if there weren't opportunities available. So if you want more details on that, please feel free to email me directly or reach out on the help chat button. And excuse me 1 second. I really need to scratch my nose. I'm going to turn off the camera for 1 quick second. I apologize. It's allergy season over here, and you know, I've been mid sneeze half this presentation. I apologize for that. So this is probably the most important part for you all, but how payment works. Essentially, we use a third-party payment provider called Stripe that transfers our funds straight to you, and then from there you can transfer to your bank account. It's a secure payment method. They issue 1099s if you reach the $30,000 threshold, which is easily achievable so long as you are responsive and active on our platform. So before picking up any opportunities, you have to set up a Stripe account. So if you've already signed into the Pro portal and click the opportunity section, you've probably already seen the pop-up that says connect your Stripe. Please use the same email as you onboarded with TaxFile so that we have matching records and we make sure that we're paying the right person. And like I said before, whenever a job is closed, payment is collected from the client and paid out to pros a week in arrears from the closing date. So we make payouts out every Friday. So if you were to close a job today, oof, that's a fat calendar. All right, let's see. If you were to close a job out today, today is December 4th. Wednesday, December 4th. So you wouldn't be paid out this Friday, the 6th, but you would be paid out the following Friday, the 13th. That's a bad day, but a good day to get paid because any day is a good day to get paid. Additionally, if you were to close out a job on Friday, the 6th, you would be paid out for that job on Friday, the 13th. So it's a week in arrears system. So if you do reach out, oh, hey, I haven't been paid for a job, it's not because we missed payment. It's probably because that job hasn't reached its payment schedule yet. And I'll be more than happy to inform you of that. So I'm kind of done with my presentation now. More than happy to take questions. And, you know, I really look forward to hearing what you all have. And I do urge you all not to be shy. Right now is a really good time to ask questions, kind of learn from each other, and you know, you all probably have very similar questions, so no such thing as a stupid one.
How are fees determined?
Felipe, I have a question on as far as calling the client. Do we have to call them through the app, or we have to, like, I guess, provide our cell phone numbers?
So that's a great question. So basically, we don't have a calling feature on our app. We are implementing a video chat feature, but that's not quite live yet. So until then, the calling feature will be you just scheduling a time to chat on the chat, and then exchanging phone numbers, and then providing a brief little synopsis afterwards. So it would be through your phone.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy to answer. Let's see, what else? I see we have some in the chats. Christy asks, is there any TaxFile Facebook group to other group chats with TaxFile preparers or items? Actually, that is an initiative I have thought of, Christy. We don't have anything quite yet, but I was thinking of having a workspace inclusive chat where tax preparers could ask each other questions. That's kind of been a little side project of mine that I have all theoretically written down, but not done yet. But there isn't one right now per se. Sohn asks, are we going to receive the slides? I'm going to be sending out a recording of this presentation once I get the recording afterwards. But I will not get the recording of this presentation until everyone leaves the meeting once it's over. So when I log off, everyone please do the courtesy of logging off so that we don't have a, so one time I did a recording of this and I logged off, and there was one person who stayed on the thing for 6 hours. And I was like, oh, where's the recording? And I had to go back on, like forcibly remove them, and then get the recording and then trim down 6 hours of it. So it took an extra long time to process. So yeah, I will be sending it out at the completion of this meeting. Madison asks, what is the payment/payout structure? So we charge different clients different prices for different deliverables. Each and every engagement you pick up, you're able to see the deliverables required and the payout. I can't really give you specific numbers because pricing is so variable based on client time, deliverables, like what time it is in the tax season. But what I can say, well, I can give you a range. So a basic 1040, right? 1040 with no additional forms, no state returns, nothing. Typically ranges from $55 to $65. That's just base 1040. But once you start adding the forms, the schedules, the state returns, additional years, it could go upwards of I don't know. I've seen personal tax return jobs around $2,000. So it's really variable to a lot of different factors. But you won't be able. You will be able to see. You will be able to see pricing and deliverables required before picking up any given engagement. So we don't like to keep you in the dark on that. Let's see. Jerry asks, you mentioned tax preparation software that you have available. Is that for everything or just certain workspaces? That is only for certain workspaces. So we do provide Access Tax and Pro systems for the pro servicing the clients required of them. So in these outsourcing workspaces, you're not actually e-filing the return for these firms, but providing them a backup file for them to review and file on their own. So these tax softwares that we will be providing you don't have the capability to e-file, but only service those firms that e-file themselves, if that makes sense. I hope that answers that, Jerry. Let's see. Christian asks, is there a base charge per additional schedule? You know, it's variable per different workspace. I know that and there's different cuts for tax file and on different. Oh, I'm echoing. There's different cuts from tax file and to the pro on different workspaces. But I do know typically we charge about $80 or more for Schedule C. And Schedule Ds, I think we charge like $60, but then we ask how many transactions occurred. So it really depends on a lot of different factors. Let's see. Does the price include the filing fee charged for the tax prep service? So we typically recommend each of our pros have the unlimited filing packages for each tax software they own because we are expecting a really high volume of returns this year. Hence our like very heavy emphasis on pro onboarding so that we could service these clients. So we typically suggest that you get the unlimited filing package, but you know the price that we give is the price that we give, and if it doesn't make sense for you margins wise, don't pick it up. Let's see. Carrie asks, how's our pay determined? We have payout schedules for different workspaces. We have each client answer our onboarding questionnaire. And in our onboarding questionnaire, we typically assess what the deliverables are required, and then we get the sum of those charges plus whatever extraneous factors such as expedited shipping or preferred routing, and you know, come up with price. Our algorithm comes up with pricing like that. Let's see. Matt asked, is it appropriate to meet with the client if it's within our local area? We don't really have a policy on that. Typically, this would be kind of rare unless you're in the New York, Illinois, or Los Angeles, San Francisco area, big metropolitan area. I wouldn't call it inappropriate, but I would say it's ineffective at keeping an audit log together in the event that you two have an argument in person. There's no way for us to step in and like mediate because we have no idea what happened. So we typically like to keep all communication on the platform. Let's see. Son asks, I'm not clear on the software. Who provides the software? So for outsourcing engagements, we provide software just for backup file purposes. But typically for a retail space, you're responsible for your own tax filing software that has the capability to e-file. Any software that we provide you does not have the capability to e-file, but only serves so that you could create a translatable backup file for the CPA firm who uses the same software so that they could e-file on their behalf. Does that clear things up, Son? I hope it does. And then Jerry asks, how do you recommend communicating with the client about the return prior to e-filing? So this is kind of like how you would typically communicate with each client. Basically, ask them all the appropriate questions. Try to get them their most deductions, what have you. So at the end of the engagement, which is I think what you're getting to, is signing the form 8879 before e-filing. Basically, you'd be like, oh, hey, here's a final draft of the return. I just want you to look over it and sign the 8879 so I could e-file for you. And then they'll look it over, come up with any changes if necessary. But most of the time, they're like, oh, this looks good. Sign it, and then you e-file for them. Let's see. Madison asks, would you suggest buying UltraTax, or what is the most popular software needed to file on a year-over-year basis? I wouldn't recommend buying UltraTax right now. We do have some outsourcing clients that require UltraTax, but we typically get more that come in through the door, like month over month. If it's a case that we need more UltraTax filing pros, I will reach out, and we do have groups of pros together that pitch in for a group license to cut down costs, and I'm more than happy to help coordinate such an arrangement between you and other pros on our platform interested. So right now I would hold off on that, but I will strongly suggest that you get an unlimited filing package for whichever tax software you use. So I hope that helps answer that, Madison. Let's see, what else? You guys have been a very talkative group. I've been loving it. This is rapid fire questions. A lot of the time I'm just sitting here not saying anything. So let's see. So what is the most popular software, Madison asks? Most popular software for our retail side, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of a personal preference, up to you, as long as you can use it in e-file and it makes sense for your margins. A lot of our pros use Drake or Intuit, but on our outsourcing side of things, on our B2B enterprise side where CPA firms outsource work to us, I would typically say CCH Access Taxes, but if that's the case, we can provide that software to you. So there's that. So I hope that answers that, Madison. Matt asks, are the majority of jobs compliance related, i.e. preparation? Will clients require other services such as tax resolution and other unique services? We typically don't have too many tax resolution cases. We do have a referral partner, 2020, and Optima Tax Relief. We have two actually that typically handle a lot of resolution cases. But if it's a case that you have a client's tax return and they have a crazy situation that need your help or power of attorney, so long as they're not a referral client, you can charge additionally on our platform and kind of organize yourselves through us. But typically this isn't very common. Jerry asks, are all returns that we will be doing personal returns, or are there business returns as well? We have everything. We have personal returns, business returns, estates and trusts. We have nonprofits. I would say typically it's 60% personal, 30% business, and then 10% estates and trusts and nonprofits. So yeah, we have a little bit of everything on our platform. Let's see. Do you refer people to Optima Tax Relief? Yes, we do, and 2020, but and they refer a lot of clients to us, which some of you all will be servicing and have access to those work pools. Can you tell us a little bit about your company, you, owners, etc.? I would love to. So I myself, I'm Felipe. Montes de Oca, if you didn't catch that in the introduction. I've been with TaxFile now for 2 years. I'm the Pro Relationship Manager. I just want to make sure you all are having a great time on our platform, making money and comfortable dealing with your clients. As for our company, we were founded in 2014 by our three founders, Richard Lavinia, William Shahadjian, and Michael Maurice, three longtime friends who decided, oh, I want to make Uber for taxes, and kind of rolled with it. Year over year, we've been growing at an exponential rate. Over this last year, we went from 13 total employees to 57. So we're kind of exploding right now, closing a lot of outsourcing deals with big firms such as well, Big Four. I can't specifically say which, and others. We have a ginormous tech team. We take a lot of pride in our software, our ease of use. Let's see what else. I don't know. I'm trying to give you all the elevator pitch, but overall, TaxFile is completely free to use. The worst thing you'll have to deal with is probably us emailing you and pestering you a little bit. But other than that, we're a free source of clients. You could pick up clients with us as often as you'd like, so long as you have a computer with you. You're on the opportunities page and you pick up a job. It's yours. Just do great work with us. We will pay you for it. We've never missed a payout. And that's basically it. I don't know if I kind of gave you the good TaxFile 101, but I hope I kind of got you all hyped up a little bit. Someone asks, so at the end of the day, I have to do my own software, yes or no? Yes, you have to have your own software. So I know Drake and Intuit are very economic softwares to use, but I do suggest having the unlimited package. All right, Christian asks, Lacert provides an organizer. Would you recommend sending a blank version to the client at the beginning of the engagement? You can totally do that. However you'd like to service your client is up to you. Whatever you think would be easiest for the client is up to you. But I do ask that all documents and chat are exchanged on the platform itself, just for the audit trail. Jason asks, how many returns were filed through TaxFile last year? How many pros does TaxFile employ? So last year we had 15,000 returns for about, I think we had 1,436 pros. About 400 of those were like active being defined as having more than 3 returns within the year. And of those 400 active, we had 80 that reached over the 30K threshold to get a 1099. So we don't, and to your second question, I kind of answered it there, but we don't employ any pros. We basically are a platform where independent contractors such as yourselves can get work. So in terms of pros we employ, we do have some in-house CPAs, but they don't actually do any tax returns for us other than our own internal company tax return. So I hope that answers that. All right, then Jason asks, do we know if a project is referred by a certain company before accepting it? Yes, because each referral partner has their own work pools. So for example, one of our largest referral partners, Bench Accounting or Bookkeeping, they have their own workspace. So if you accept a job on the Bench workspace, you know that's a Bench client. Likewise, if you're on the Optima Tax Relief workspace, you will know it's an Optima Tax Relief client. Right now, you all have default access to TaxFile. That's because it's not really busy season right now, and we kind of just are trying to onboard as many pros as possible. But as tax season goes on and we get to have a better sense of your skills, expertise, reliability, you'll be added to these new workspaces. Let's see, Christian asks, what are the most profitable returns through TaxFile? Easy peasy, the ones with a lot of years and a lot of forms. We had one return come to us through one of our outsourcing partners that had it wasn't just tax filing, but it had bookkeeping for about 7 years of transactions. monthly transactions, about 400 transactions a month, and that job paid out, I want to say like $9,000. So we have a few big fish come on, but oftentimes the bread and butter of our platform is like a $200 payout, $150 payout, and those come in like very, 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 very often. Let's see. I meant businesses, personal, etc. Probably business returns, but that said, businesses do take longer, so there is an economy of time. One of the most active pros that I speak with on a daily basis often tells me that business returns, give him the most money, but the time it takes him to do business return, he could do two smaller, like 1040s. So it's all a matter of preference on that end. What percentage of proceeds go to the preparer/tax pro? That really depends on a few different factors, like what client you're servicing, what workspace you're on. But typically the cut is between 60 and 80% goes to you, and then we get the rest. But that said, every single price you see, that's all 100% yours. Madison asks, after today, can I start working on available opportunities? I'm getting emails almost every day, but I don't have access to any workspace. So if you're in this webinar, you should have platform access to start picking up opportunities already. But I will say, and I must apologize for this, and I do strongly, strongly, strongly urge you not to get discouraged, that right now we are in the dead of dead season. So from October 15th up to January 15th, there isn't very much traffic going through, and the traffic that is coming through is being routed directly to all of our tax pros. Come January 15th, once things start to pick up a lot, you will be able to start picking up jobs very easily, so long as you just have the opportunities page open, as it does refresh real time. But please don't get discouraged. That's part of the reason we have these webinars, just so that we could clear the air and make sure that everyone's on the right page. But then you follow up by saying, I'm getting a message that I don't have access. Yeah, that's just the error message that you get when you're not the first person to pick up a job. I do apologize for that, Madison, but there will be opportunities coming. I do promise that. Corey asks, so we do not see what the taxpayer is being charged? No, you don't. You do not. Jason asks, is there an extra charge for depreciation schedule entry? If so, is it based on the number of assets? How does this work? Yes, there is. And yes, it is based on the number of assets. Basically, when our system recognizes that a depreciation schedule is necessary, it'll ask follow-up questions to determine like how intensive this depreciation schedule needs to be. So yes. Let's see. As far as like pricing for that goes, I can't really tell you because I don't have it off the top of my head. So Jerry asks, so January 15th is our start date. Is there a contract for us? Okay, no. I only say January 15th because that's when tax season starts to go into full swing. So there is no contract. You're all independent contractors. So there is no contract other than, I guess, our terms of service. But there is no start date. There is no contract. You could technically pick up a job today and get working on it. But I will say it would be a little bit difficult right now, being that is that tax season is like done. I have been in rapid fire today. Oh, another one. Oh, two. Let's go. Let's see. Is the charge the same for additional schedule that is a little more involved, meaning there could be a Schedule C with 4 line items versus a complex Schedule C? No, it's not the same. Whenever we determine that there's a schedule needed, we always have follow-up questions for each schedule to determine the intensity of each one, so that we charge appropriately. Do you get payroll-related work? Christian asks, yes, we do, but not too much. It'll eventually be picking up, but I can't really speak too much onto it because I don't really handle the accounts that have payroll related work. coming in often. So it asks, how much does Stripe charge? There are no fees for you when you get paid by Stripe. Well, there are, but we incur those fees. It's like a 2% fee that we take out of our cut. But the price you see on tax file is the price you get given out, except for your first job, it's a $35 fee for the background check. But after that, every single price you see on tax file is the price you get. Hi, Chrissy. Are you trying to talk? I think you're on mute. So, is there a direct line to call? We don't really have an office number, but you do all have access to my cell phone number, which is in the bottom of my email whenever I email you. So you do have that. But I am a big texter, so I do ask that you text first. But the best ways to reach out to me are via the help chat, email, or text message if it's like a big emergency. Let's see. If support adjusts the pricing to a client, is our pay adjusted as well? Yes. Pay is adjusted along with pricing automatically. We wouldn't upcharge a client for additional services that you'd be rendering without paying you for those additional services. That would be whack. Let's see. How do you obtain clients? I haven't seen any advertising to TaxFile. Well, a lot of our client base comes to us through word of mouth. We also just hired a team of SEO specialists. SEO meaning search engine optimization. Thank you, Claudia. My colleague next to me just whispered optimization to my ear. But yes, we do have a team of SEO analysts to have targeted ads to people. We do have an extensive marketing budget, and also we have a lot of clients come in to us through our referral partners. And also, you know, we are pretty good at retaining our clients year after year. So of the 15,000 returns we did last year, you know, a good number of those are going to come back this year. I could take one more question because we kind of have gone over time, and I do have a previously scheduled call I have to attend to in 10 minutes. So I could take one more question, and then I'm going to log off. That said, though, feel free to shoot me an email follow-up so that we could schedule a one-on-one call. I would love to get to know you a little more on a personal and professional level, and kind of get an idea of what you would like to get out of TaxFile and what TaxFile could get out of you, and just kind of start that relationship early before we get into full swing with tax season. All right. Thank you, Matt. We are based. I do appreciate the thanks, Matt, and thank you for taking the time today to join us. Really appreciate your time. And then why the Dolphins jacket? Well, Christian, we're based out of Miami. I am a big masochist. I love my Dolphins despite them loving winning. So, you know, I'm a Tampa Bay all the way. No. Thank you for Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, by the way. The guy's a stud. But yeah, you know, I do like famous Jameis. You know, Jameis Winston's cool. Go Knowles. So yeah, well, I'm gonna log off. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. USF. Oh yeah, you would be good friends with our CFO. He's a USF bull. So yeah, well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate your time. cheers, everybody. And, you know, if you have any questions and if you would like to set up a one-on-one follow-up call with me, please do. I would really love to talk to you each individually. So have a great one, everybody.